Hello and welcome. My name is Richie and this is my channel, Bronx Brothers Motorcycles. On this channel we talk about all brands, all kinds of motorcycles. But today we're going to be talking about my performance bagger, this '09 Electric Glide, and how I do an oil change. Let's go to the intro. Well, here we are. The days of using one oil only when we had jack bikes is long gone. Now it requires motor oil, transmission, and primary, and also brake fluid. And I'll start with brake fluid. What is the difference in the brake fluids? As I understand it, there may be other reasons. The number one reason I understand brake fluid numbers to go up is because they can hold more heat. In other words, .4 can work well in higher temperatures than .3, 2, 1. I don't think anybody even uses 2 or 1 anymore. But that is the difference as I know it. There may be other differences, but the main difference is the temperature. And what does that have to do with anything? Well, at higher temperatures, it becomes liquefied, if you will. It dilutes. I know for a fact my buddy has a CVO Road Glide, and his hydraulic clutch line goes over the engine. We were riding through the Lincoln Tunnel into New York City, and his clutch basically disappeared. He had no clutch. We had to pull over and let the bike cool off. We were stuck in traffic, New York City traffic. And so that's it as I understand it. The cure to that is put a heat shield, a heat sleeve over the line, or just wrap your line in that foil type heat shield. They sell it at auto parts and things like that. Transmission fluid, I use this stuff, Redline. It quiets the transmission. I have a clear cover, as you can see, so I can see the transmission fluid in there. This is a Roland Sands Clarity, and I have this set. As you can see, I can see my cam chain, and I can see the tensioner. It's a fueling tensioner. I can see my transmission fluid, and I just purchased a new Clarity cover for the Derby, as a Derby cover, because I was not happy with the last one. It leaked, so I switched it out. I am very particular about leaking. Anyway, so you can see the transmission fluid. I wanted to show you because with this Clarity cover, it shows basically the fluid in there, which is a good thing for me. So that is Redline synthetic. It's pink. It looks like Pepto-Bismol. Recommended by various people I've seen. It was in my Softail Deluxe when I bought the bike. I had never seen the red, and I like it. It keeps the transmission quieter, in my opinion, and that's important. So moving on to the engine oil. So some guys, if you go to the Harley dealer, they will some guys recommend that in all 3 holes. And I'm not a subscriber to that logic, to that thinking. I think engineers go through a hell of a lot of trouble to engineer these products, these oils, and I'm gonna use what they recommend. So if there is a primary oil specific, I'm gonna use that for the primary. I wouldn't use the same product. That's just my opinion. I mean, some guys are happy and everything goes well, you know. My brother, until not too long ago, used the same oil in all 3 holes. So I buy Amsoil. I think everybody knows Amsoil is a very good product, is a quality product. So I use that in the primary. Now I will say, and I wanted to discuss this a little bit, is that I recently heard somebody say that they don't recommend a synthetic in the primary, because one of the reasons is, especially on a bike like mine, the performance bagger, is that you could start to get premature clutch failure because the engine is so much more powerful. The only thing my clutch has that makes it a little bit more high performance, it's a stock clutch, are the springs. The springs are the heavy duty. So if you squeeze the lever, it's harder than my Softail Deluxe, which has an 88 cubic inch. So non-synthetic fluid is recommended, at least by a few guys that I've heard, and I kind of believe that logic. I understand that logic, where the clutch is not going to start to slip prematurely, because again, it's a high performance engine. But today I am using the synthetic. I may slowly switch out, and actually I have plans to upgrade the clutch in the near future. So then, moving along to the motor oil, this is not for the motorcycle, but I use a Amsoil Motor Oil for the motorcycle, a V-twin. And that is the product that I use right there. As you can see, it says engine, transmission, and primary chain case lubricant. Well, I believe it to be just an engine oil. And the thing is that Amsoil themselves has a primary oil as well as a transmission oil. So even though they're recommending this for all 3 holes, I do not go with that belief. Now this is their primary fluid. It says here, delivers consistent clutch feel, helps prevent slip, eases shift to neutral, which is a problem for a lot of the larger bikes, as many of you probably know. So that is the primary fluid that I use. Again, this is being used for the primary chain and also for the clutches. I've already done the transmission oil change on this bike, as well as the engine oil. I am now at the primary fluid change, and I've already drained it. That is all 3 oils right there. All 3 fluids are in this pan. So, but for those of you that know my bike, I'm not sure if you can tell, I have a new Clarity Roland Sands primary cover, and that is what you're looking at there. The previous one, if you watched my last video, the previous one leaked, and I was not happy with that at all. Again, I keep my bikes very clean, and having an oil leak, this is not a, you know, knucklehead, panhead, shovelhead. This is a twin cam, and they're not known for leaking. You might see a leak right there, but that's because the filter, when you change the filter out on these things, it almost always leaks. So that's what that's from. You can see the oil seepage through here. So that O-ring right there needs to be replaced, and it needs to be replaced with something just a little bit more robust. So I have plans for that cover right there. No, I don't just throw money away like that. So that's why I chose to replace it. The other reason why I chose to replace it is because, as you know, I do have a little bit of black on this bike, such as the headlight, the wheels, the air filter, and things like that. And I found that that big chrome piece needed something to break it up. So I bought the, I forgot what the contrast cut, I believe they call that, which has black and chrome. So I am at the point right now where all I need to do is drop a quart of primary fluid in there and button that up. I put a new O-ring on the drain plug. I have a new seal for the primary cover itself. So this thing should be oil leak proof after this. And that is it. Now, as I was telling you guys, my plans are to beef up the clutch a little bit, and I'm not exactly sure which route I'm going. Now, clutches are fairly simple to do as long as you know the process of putting in the correct plates. In other words, which plate is first, second, third. As long as you got that down pat, the rest should be easy. Now, my next purchase for this bike is the thrashing floorboards, brake pedal, and shifters. That is my next purchase for this bike. So I like the look of it because it kind of looks stock, but it's got that touch, and it's so much lighter too. So those floorboards will be going. And I know on my last video I said I switched out the passenger floorboards for those pegs. Those are Harley-Davidson pegs. And for backing up and just moving the bike around while you're sitting on it, I really appreciate that a whole lot more than I do the floorboards hitting you on the back of the legs and just basically shortening your steps. So with the floorboards, you kind of have to take baby steps. With foot pegs, I feel that you can take a bigger step. And sometimes if your bike is going down, you need that extra few inches to be able to handle the bike from not going down. So it's a secure thing for me. That's why I changed them out. Now the primary cover, very simple. If you can do an oil change, which I feel that everybody that owns a Harley-Davidson should be able to do an oil change. That's a jet going overhead. 1 second. I live about 2 miles as the crow flies from a Navy jet base. So it's kind of quiet today, being that it's Saturday. So anyway, as I was saying, I feel that everybody should be able to do a oil change, all 3 holes, because you can go on YouTube and research and learn everything you need to know. YouTube is so informative that there's almost nothing that we can't do to our bikes today. And there's so many YouTubers that are willing to show you the way. So, you know, for changing out the primary fluid, the procedure is there's a hole under here, and remove that cover to fill it up. That's where you fill it up through. So it's real simple. Transmission fluid, a little bit more, I'm not gonna say complicated, but involved. Trying to squeeze through these 2 bikes here. I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bikes in this garage. Transmission fluid is filled through here. So you need a special funnel, or just a funnel that's kind of thin. Engine oil goes here, and they're both drained from the bottom. You can fit a pan under there easily. So those are the 3 holes for the Harley-Davidson oil changes. So again, my preference is to use oils specific to each hole, transmission, engine, and primary. And of those 3, there is one that is best for each. In other words, the Redline for the transmission, the Amsoil, or a non-synthetic for the primary, and for the engine, Amsoil. Or you can even do the Screaming Eagle Sin 3 from Harley-Davidson, if that's what you like. But Amsoil is pricey, I will say that. I buy a kit, and I'm going to show you. This is basically an unpacking, because I have not opened this box. I know I said I didn't feel like opening, but for the sake of showing you guys what comes in these kits from Amsoil, I decided to open it. So, comes with an oil filter. That is for the Softail Deluxe, which is the same as a Heritage. Same as a Fat Boy. Motor oil, V-twin motorcycle oil, motor oil, motor oil, motor oil. That's what comes in this package. I forgot how much it is, but I want to say it's somewhere in the $75 range for this kit. It comes like this, delivered to your house. Does it come with a decal for that amount of money? No decal. I've been ripped off. Yep, I don't see a decal. So that is what comes in the package. Now, word is, this is superior stuff. So, Amsoil. So in the, maybe it's in the oil filter, because it says it comes with an O-ring too. Let's see what's in here. Yep, there's an O-ring. That's for the motor oil only. And it has the chrome oil filter. And the more important part, no decal. Oh my goodness. Been ripped off. Anyway, there's the kit. And don't quote me on the price, but I believe, because I purchased this last summer, I believe it was 75 bucks for this oil change right here. And it's just motor. So I purchased the primary separately, and I order the Redline separately. I order that I believe, from JP Cycles. And yes, I have a mess here. I know that. The thing with my mess, I clean it, and one project later, it's like this again. So I just clean as I go. So I thought I'd go over a few items that I use. This is the skinny funnel that I was referring to for the transmission fluid. It's quite thin. I purchased one of these online, and it's 38 ounces, if you're wondering, for the primary, and that helps. And then this thing here, I saw somebody online come up with this, not my idea, but it's a great idea. So that is the filter, oil filter wrench. This goes here, and I don't want to put it because this is a little oily, but basically what you do is you take this and you put the bottle over the filter. You take this and then you unscrew it, and it doesn't have all of the oil in there, but trust me, it holds a lot of it in this bottle as long as you angle it up as you pull it out, and it saves you from cleaning a really big mess like I have there, which I've cleaned most of it off. That's the residual oil that was still dripping down. So those are my little tips for making an oil change easier, but more importantly, to be prepared before you even start the process to have these things in line. That jack, that lift, whatever you want to call it, I purchased on Amazon. I think it was 80 bucks. And that thing helps me with so many different jobs. It does not work on non-Harleys. I don't think it even works on the BMW. But for the Harley-Davidson is all I really use it for. And right now it has my bike upright and pretty. I'm gonna shake on it here. It's pretty solid. That simple lift. So if you don't have one, I recommend you get one. It helps with so many things: changing tires, filling up tires, adjusting tires, washing your bike. A lot of different tasks it helps you with. Suscribe, campana, gusta, comenta y comparte. You know, one of the things that's important to note when you have a performance bagger is that it's gonna run hot, and it's in your best interest to try to keep it cool as best as possible. And I'll give you some examples. If I'm stuck in traffic, I'm either gonna take the shoulder, ride between the cars, or I'm gonna pull over and shut it off. It's too much of an investment for me to take that chance. Okay, it's a good idea to invest in a good temperature gauge for your bike. Okay, I don't know if you've seen performance baggers have a meltdown and basically ruin the engine because they ran them hot. I saw it happen on one of the guys that I follow on YouTube. His name is Psycho Fanatics, and he had, I believe it was a 128 build, 128, 124. I can't remember exactly what engine it was, but it was a muscle build, and it was he broke down. He basically needed a whole new engine. He was stuck in traffic, I believe in Long Island, New York, and that it was catastrophic failure for the engine. So in the process of him rebuilding and putting a new engine in the bike, one of the first things he did after the bike was complete was invest in oil cooler, in a fan assisted oil cooler, as well as the cooling jugs. I forget what they call them, something jugs that goes on the side of the engines. I really don't believe in those, but he invested in that. He believes in it. So It's very important. And to that, it's important that that your oil is in good condition. So something to think about. Again, Amsoil says 10,000 miles on an oil change. I'm not going to wait that long. I'll do it at 5,000 miles. So what else can I tell you? I think that's pretty much it. I want to thank you for watching. Okay, again, my name is Richie, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel and you like the content, please do so. We talk about all types of motorcycles, mostly Harley-Davidsons, but I also have a BMW. I have 2 BMWs at the moment. I have Kawasaki, Suzuki, Honda. I have 12 bikes in all, and I make videos about motorcycles, traveling. Also make motorcycles about product reviews, and also help on doing certain jobs like we talked about today, doing an oil change. All right, so you all take care. Watch out with the crazy people on the road, and I will catch you on the next one. Adios.